Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of SPS Spotlight. I'm Azelle Kavan, Chief Communications Officer for Springfield Public Schools, and today I am going to share with you some frequently asked questions regarding the start of school, which will be fully remote for students this year. And so I will literally read a question and then follow up with the answer. I will let you know that all of this information is currently on our website, www.springfieldpublicschools.com, and also on our socials at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Springfield K-12. So let's get to it. How will schools open on September 15th? The Springfield School Committee voted on August 6th to open schools with students learning remotely 5 days a week. Full remote learning will be implemented through the end of the first marking period. And if conditions permit, the district will shift to hybrid learning at the start of the second marking period. How will a decision be made on whether to implement hybrid learning for the second marking period? The decision will be based on any new information regarding COVID-19 as well as the progress of additional efforts to ensure buildings are safe for staff and students to return. Can you choose remote learning for the entire year? We're not able to answer this question just yet. If the public health situation changes sufficiently to allow a full return to school before the end of the year, we would not necessarily continue to offer full remote. Will the Springfield Empowerment Zone schools follow the same reopening plan as other Springfield public schools? We are closely collaborating in planning, and we will likely be implementing the same learning models. But exactly how remote education, or should the move to hybrid be made, how those instructions are organized may be varied by school. When does the school year start? School starts on September 15th for students in grades 1 through 12, September 21st for kindergarten, and September 28th for preschool. Will this plan be implemented in Springfield charter schools? The answer to that question is no. Each charter school will develop and implement their own reopening plan. Let's talk about homeschooling. Question: can I homeschool my child? Yes, homeschooling is an option for families, but it is not the same as remote learning. If you select homeschooling, you must notify Springfield Public Schools and receive approval of your homeschooling plan. If you choose homeschooling, you would not have access to Springfield Public School teachers, learning resources, or laptop computers. If I decide to homeschool, can I get or keep my SPS laptop? The answer to this question is no. Springfield Public School laptops are provided only to students enrolled within the Springfield Public Schools. Let's talk about teaching and learning. Will students have specials or electives like art, music, health, or physical education? The answer to this question is yes. Students will have the opportunity to take all the classes they would normally be taking in school during remote education. Will there be leniency around submission of remote assignments for families who are struggling to balance work and remote learning? The answer to this question is yes. No assignment will be given with less than 1 week of time before the assignment is due. Question: how is MCAS being administered since we are learning remotely? We will implement MCAS as required by the Mass Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, but they have not yet issued guidance on MCAS testing in a remote environment. Question: who will teach students remotely? Students will be taught by Springfield Public School teachers from their school. Why is the digital platform Schoolology being introduced at pre-K through 5 grades when teachers were previously trained in unified classroom? Based on the experience of remote learning from March through June, the district received considerable feedback that unified classroom was not as user-friendly for younger students as we would have liked. Schoolology is being implemented because it can be organized and presented in a more user-friendly fashion for younger students and their families. Question: how will teachers be held accountable for remote instruction and engaging with students? A series of clear expectations will be given for all teachers around the number of virtual classes to hold per week, the number of assignments to give per week, and responsiveness to student and family questions and concerns. School administrators will monitor implementation and provide support for teachers not meeting these expectations. Question: if attendance is taken in homeroom, can't students skip their remaining classes and still be marked as present? We are examining ways now to track attendance not only for daily record keeping, but for each virtual class. In addition, student participation in virtual classes and completion of activities associated with those classes will be a part of student grades. Will teachers be recording their virtual classes? Teachers will be encouraged to record virtual classes without showing student faces. They are encouraged to make the recording available to students who were either not able to attend the class or who could benefit from seeing the content again. What provisions will be made for students who cannot join a virtual class at the scheduled time due to childcare or other issues? Teachers will, when possible, record virtual lessons and post the videos to allow students to view them later if they miss class or simply want to review something discussed during class. Students can also reach out to their teachers outside the virtual classes for help and support as needed. Can schools offer some after-school virtual clubs and activities to ensure students have a whole school experience while remote? The district is currently exploring opportunities to partner with after-school program providers and/or to create virtual opportunities through the schools for students to engage in activities beyond the academic classes. Will students be provided with books and materials while learning remotely? Yes. The district and schools will work to ensure students have the materials necessary to fully participate in remote learning. Let's talk about supports for students with disabilities. Will students receive support services documented in their IEP or 504? The answer is absolutely yes. All students will receive the support services documented in their IEP or 504. With services provided in person or remotely, depending on the learning model. How will students receive services like occupational therapy, physical therapy, or speech therapy if fully remote? Services will be provided virtually using solutions like video conferencing consistent with the student's IEP or 504 plan. Let's talk about technology. My student doesn't have an SPS issued laptop. How do I get one for them? Schools will be reaching out directly to families with information about how to request and receive a laptop. My Springfield Public Schools issued computer is not working. How do I get it fixed? Students and families should access the Student Help Desk on Microsoft Teams. You can download the Microsoft Teams app to a phone or go to office.com on a web browser. Log in using the student's Office 365 username and regular password. You can chat with a member of the IT department, and most problems can be solved remotely. If we cannot solve your problem, we will arrange to have a replacement laptop delivered to your home at the address on record with Springfield Public Schools. What about internet service for families who cannot afford it? The district will provide at-home internet access for families who cannot afford it. Each school will reach out to families to let them know how to get this support. Will families have to pay the $20 laptop take-home fee this year? No. The school committee has changed the SPS laptop take-home policy and eliminated that $20 fee. However, if a student loses or damages a Springfield Public Schools issued laptop, they will not necessarily be issued another one for use at home. 1, 2, 3, 4 more questions. Will preschool students be provided a device for remote learning? The answer to that question is no. Plans for remote learning for pre-K students are focused on activities that do not require a device. How are parents being supported to help their students with technology for remote learning? Schools will provide orientations to remote learning for families, including support on using technology, and the district is providing multiple help videos on YouTube. Further information will be available through your child's school. If a student has a functioning computer at home, do they have to take an SPS-issued device? While school is fully remote, students can use a personal device at home if they so choose. However, if some form of in-person schooling takes place in the future, we would ask all students to use an SPS-issued laptop so we can ensure it works both at home and at school. Because we do not have the capacity to make sure all personally owned devices can operate safely on our networks in school. And our last frequently asked question, at least for now. My students are used to using Zoom or other platforms for virtual learning. Can teachers post links to these from Schoolology or Unified Classroom? The answer is yes. Teachers will continue using a variety of learning tools, but all teachers will organize virtual learning in either Schoolology or Unified Classroom so that students and families can go to one place to determine what work needs to be completed on a particular day. We realize that this is a lot of information being thrown at parents, students, families, and staff. We are committed to keeping updates regular as they become available, so please remember to continually check our website at www.springfieldpublicschools.com and also our socials at Springfield K-12 for the latest developments as they occur. Thank you for watching. We hope this FAQ has been useful to you. My name is Azelle Kavan for Springfield Public Schools.